Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm joined by Krishnarine Hardyal, who is from the States. He's recently got a 25K profit payout from Alpha Capital Group. Really, really exciting to hear and see, his journey and how he's progressed. And essentially thought I'd bring him on here today to discuss his journey in further depth for everyone to, appreciate it as well, and also, take something from it. So welcome on board.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Archie, for having me.
You're very welcome. So I guess I start off today by, introducing yourself, where you're from, a little bit about you, and then, how you started trading.
Yeah, sure. Well, my name is Krishnarine Hardyal. Originally, I was born from I'm Guyanese, so I'm born in Guyana. Currently, just living in New York right now. Been living here for uh, 20 plus years. But yeah, that's what it is. Trading. Started trading back in 2008 over here when we had a recession. Um, got laid off from work, was home, needed income. Bills had to be paid, have mortgage paid, stuff like that. So, I wanted something to do, extra income. So I picked up stocks actually and, you know, start, learning myself, teaching myself about trading and trading stocks and, stuff like that. Yeah, and then made money, lost money, broke even, and then after economy got back together, and everything was okay, I kind of slowed down on the stocks. I didn't do it as much as often, and then fast forward to 2019, just before COVID. Um, Forex. I had dabbled with Forex before, same time as stocks, but I wasn't too. I didn't go full into it. It was just like, I guess, I deposit, I think it was like 500. That time it was with forex.com only. And you needed at least, you only had two accounts, a mini or a standard. Standard account, you had to deposit your own money, which was 25K, you know. But yeah, like I said, I just dabbled in it. I didn't really go full ahead on. And then 2019, just before COVID, yeah, FX, Forex was just in your face. It's all over, all the social medias, you see guys posting, crazy stuff, Lamborghini house, money, cash, whatever it is. But that never really caught me, What kind of caught me was this one guy, and he was just a regular Joe, he was a regular guy, and he was a scalper, and he was making, it wasn't in crazy, crazy profits, but he was making consistently, daily profits, and so he caught my eye, and I'm like, okay, you know what? All right, looks good, I'll probably think about it. I didn't jump into it. And then we all know what happened, COVID hit. Um, yeah, and then again, lost a job, bills now have to be paid. Now I have two young daughters. Um, so now I'm like, man, now I need something, to extra to, again, to pay the bills and, and take care of the family and, get something going. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna do stocks. Stocks is not for me no more because my personality, it wasn't, it didn't really, even though I made money and I lost money, it didn't really attract me, as that. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll give Forex a try. And yeah, I just picked it up and again, just study, self-taught myself. And 2 years later, this is where I am.
Awesome. So in terms of like stocks, I'm exactly the same. You need a larger amount of capital to actually do well in the stock space. With FX, you can actually get in with a lot smaller capital. And especially with prop firms, you can use that small capital to scale up more capital, buying a challenge, getting the evaluation across the line, and then taking it from there, which I guess is what you did with Alpha Capital Group. But in terms of like your small account, when you were trading that small account, and you were self-teaching yourself and progressing and getting better and better, was there anything that you found really tough in that journey?
Yeah, yeah. So before I started with prop firms, to be honest, I didn't like prop firms. I hated prop firms. I'm like, the reason why I'm like, I'm doing all the work, all the hard work, and
Yeah.
I got to split my, my profits with, a company. But at the time when I started, it wasn't as that much prop firms. It was like one and two, and the profit split wasn't that good. It was like 50%, 65%. So I'm like, no. But yeah, when I started, I started, like I said, I was self-taught. I I demoed myself, back tested. I started with a offshore broker, with a demo account. And I try to tell people, like, have a demo account, especially if you start off, do a demo account, but be realistic without it, with the demo account. For me, that's what I did. And that's, I think, where a lot of new traders fail, because when they do the demo account, most of these firms, now prop firms have it, or offshore worker, they start with 10,000 or 100,000, whatever it is. And, people, they use that, and they demo with it, and they're like, okay, do 10 lots, 20 lots, whatever it is, and they'll make quick money, and, like, oh man, I'm ready. And then now, in reality, you're not going to deposit 10,000. You're not going to deposit, 20,000, 100,000. And they deposit 500 or 1,000, and then they do the same thing, 5 lots, 10 lots, and in the blink of an eye, they lost all their money, and then they give up, right? So I tell them, like, no. When I started, I was fortunate enough, the broker I use, I contacted them, and I told them, listen, I want the lowest possible, and the lowest they could offer me was 1,000. I'm like, okay, fine, because I can see myself depositing 1,000, and that way you get, realistic, you get a reality of how the market will move, as your peers. So that's what I did. And I used that, and I demoed, back test. Yeah. And then, that's after 6 months of back testing and demoing, I read somewhere, and I always say that I wish I kept it. It says if you can have 5 days straight without losing a trade, then you're ready for the live markets. And that's what happened. That's the reason why I jumped in. And when I started with $300 in my, my offshore broker. And the first week, I took that 300. Well, I should say 4 days. I took 300 to 900. Friday, lost it all on news. Second week, did the same thing. Deposit 300 again. Took it to 900 again. Friday, lost it all on news. Third week, took again, deposit 300. Took it to 1,200 this time. Lost it all on news on Friday. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I was in a shower, and just, the same Friday, and I'm just, talking to myself. I'm like, okay, you know what, Krish? I'm like, this is what you want to do full time, because I saw something with FX that, it can give me the lifestyle I want. It can not get, here's the thing, it's not to get rich over things, it's not to be a millionaire. No. It's just to, pay my bills, give me the lifestyle I want to live, and support my family. And that's what I saw. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Listen, let's buckle down, stop with the nonsense, let's go. This is what you want to do full time. Let's go. And then from then on, that was it. Just kept on going and going and going.
Love it. No, I 100% agree. I think, some people overcomplicate it. At the end of the day, if forex and trading can just replace your gas bills, or it can pay for your, for your car, it's a worthwhile pursuit to have if it just pays off a few of those bills that you have. And it gives you flexibility and freedom, as you've said.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing I try to tell people too, like, especially when it, come to trading, and we'll dive more into it later, is I treat this as a business, right? This is my business. This have to pay me, right? So that's why, I have daily goals, right? And like I said, later on, I'll dive more into that, as we get into it, and I'll tell you, how it is. But yeah, people do overcomplicate, trading, man. And I tell them, especially when they're new, a lot of so-called professionals and gurus, they won't talk about it, right? But as a new trader, if you can realize and understand that trading, we're just predicting the market, right? Nobody knows if the market's going to go up. Nobody knows it's going to come down. Nobody knows it's going to go sideways, right? But we're making an educated guess, right? We have the charts, we have the tools, whatever. We're making an educated guess and a prediction where price can go. And as a new trader, if you can understand that from the beginning, right, and not worry about, okay, well, why price did this or why price do that, right? Just understand you making a prediction, right? But an educated guess, you have, you'll be in this industry longer than most, right? So
exactly.
yeah.
Now you've been in the industry for a while. You've clearly got some profits. You've actually got the proof now. You've got past that point of blowing those $900 accounts on a Friday. What strategy do you find best for you, that works best for you, that's worked for the Alpha Capital Group account that you've made your profit on, and also your personal trading fund? you know, what strategy works best for you?
Yeah, man, my strategy is very simple, and I started, in from day one, and I just kept on perfecting it. And all it is just simple support resistance, candlestick, Japanese candlestick patterns, and pretty much that's all it is, just support resistance, or obviously price action, right? Yeah, but that's it. Candlestick patterns, support resistance, and Japanese candlestick patterns. And
Nice.
I tell people, so again, you're starting off new, find first of all, find out what kind of trader you are. Are you a scalper? Are you a day trader? Are you a swing trader? Right? But find you have to match your personality. For me, like I'm not I'm aggressive trader, right? And that's how that just I guess because maybe my personality. I like to be, in and out, right? I like to be like that's all it is. But if you more like relaxed and calm, you might be maybe a swing trader, you might be a day trader. If you like to be in and out, you might be a scalper. So yeah, that's what I try to do. Like number one, find out what kind of trader you are. Two, find a style, a trading style or strategy that complements your personality, right? And from then on, just perfect it. And I took three traders strategies and meshed it and made it my own. Made it where it fits me. So and then from that, from day one to now, I'm always trying to perfect it, ways to perfect it, either better entries, better exits, maybe perfecting, looking at price action, something what it is, right? But yeah, when it comes to strategy, man, it's simple. It's just like I said, support resistance, price action, Japanese candlestick patterns. That's from day one to now. That's all it
You'll
is.
do in the future as well. No, I'm,
Uh,
I'm I'm totally the same. You know, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of different trading strategies. At the end of the day, most people spend their time jumping from one to the other, especially when they're beginner. You know, I certainly know that I did when I started out, is that I started one, I tried it for a week, it didn't work, and then I jumped to the next one. In reality, I should have just plowed on through and stuck with that one. And that's essentially the position that I've now got to, is that I've got this strategy and you just making slight tweaks, but you're not
yeah,
jumping deep strategy. There's, everyone's jumping on ICT at the moment and, and trying out loads of new different things or smart money concepts. But in reality, as you said, support and resistance, very, very simplistic trading works.
yeah, it is. I mean, and to be honest, if you look at any strategy, right? Maybe the back end of it, it's support resistance somehow. Whether if it's zones, whether it's still
Yeah.
support resistance, right? If it's like you said, smart money, you know, I hear a lot of people talk about block order. It's all support resistance, right? But yeah, like you stated, when you started, you was jumping right, and I get it a lot. I talked to a lot of new traders, and they ask, and you know, I even know a couple of traders been trading for a while and they keep questioning their strategy. And I tell them like, don't do it because you keep doing it, you're gonna keep changing and changing and changing, and you're not learning, you're not benefiting from it.
Yeah.
So find a strategy that works for you and just keep perfecting it. Just stick with it. Come on, we all traders, we all get it wrong, we all get it right. There's no perfect trader, right? There's no trader that always get it right. No, you have ups and downs, we have these times, but that's what it is, just perfecting it, making it better, to your personality, and just keep, working on it, working on it. And like I said, even to this day, I'm still on, whether it be YouTube or back testing or something, just trying to perfect my strategy, you know, to get better and better for me, right? But that's what it is.
Love it. Love it. So I've got one question here that I ask a few different traders as well, is what's your best and worst experience trading? If you've got a best one and you've got a worst one, and I take it the worst one's probably at the start of your trading journey. That is,
Yeah.
but as in, if you could outline a couple of the key highlighting moments in your trading sort of journey, that would be awesome.
Yeah, well, number one, I think the best one would be obviously my first payout. And that's what with my own live account at Archie Broker. Um, the reason why I say is that my best one because it kind of validate that this is possible,
Mm.
right? That you can make a living doing this. You can pay bills, right? You can you know, go on vacation, support a family, whatever it is. So yeah, that was my best. It was just my first payout, man, and it wasn't a lot. I think it was like $4,000 profit. Um, But yeah, man, it felt good, right? That was my best. The worst, I would say, was probably we all remember the Netflix fiasco. Yeah, I was in I think I was trading I think Nas that day, and I didn't really know. I heard people talking about,
Yeah.
the week AMC and Netflix. I'm like, what is this, right? So in my head, I'm like, oh, it's stocks, whatever it is, right? But yeah, the Friday, I think I lost like I want to say like maybe like 20K. Yeah.
Uh,
And it was crazy. I was up. I was up for that whole week. Like it's all profits, right? And I'm like, why the heck is the mass dropping like this? It's just ridiculous. Like, what's going on?
yeah.
And yeah, man, just I lost it, blew my account, and found out later on that's what it was. But yeah, that was the worst. That was the worst.
Awesome. Well, look, I mean, these worst experiences also make the best ones even better, because you can realize that you can lose money just as quick as you can make it. So I think that's just part of trading. It's part of this journey. It's not always up, and it teaches you as well. My worst trading experience was actually probably I think it was 4 or 5 months ago now, 6 months ago, when
Mhm.
the Russia-Ukraine news came out in terms of
Uh,
the war, and gold spiked through the moon on a Friday evening. And I was like, goodness me, what has happened? And, I was literally just on a walk and I saw gold, move 300 pips within, a matter of minutes. And
uh,
my account got absolutely wiped out. And that was a lot of money as well. So it was almost the point of learning that risk management, learning how to, treat it for the next time round. And, in the long run, those profits will become, they'll become smaller in the time. So yeah,
yeah.
it's part of
Yeah,
it.
and yeah, just you're talking about risk management. So here's the thing, like especially new traders, even traders now, right? I tell them like, there's no guru, there's no professional trader, there's no one can teach you, you know, uh, risk management. There's no one. The only person can teach you is yourself. That's the only way. You can read the books, you can watch YouTube videos, you can watch movies, you could do whatever. But it's on you personally. That's how you learn it. And how I learned it, I actually, and maybe you probably did the same way, is from my live, account, when I started. And again, it was $300, you're right, but it's live money. And that's another thing too. I encourage new traders to do, right? I'm like, you a demo, you don't have the emotions because you lose the money, you lose it, you don't feel it, right? So I tell them, I listen, deposit 300, deposit 500, there's your own money. Then you will see the kind of person you are. Then you see, your what an emotion does to you. And for me, like I said, when I started, again, it was live money. So I gotta kind of get the grasp quickly. I mean, to this day, I still struggle with it, obviously, right? But there's no one to teach you, there's no one, to be honest, I don't think to say, oh yeah, I have, perfect risk management, or no, there's nothing like that, right? So, but yeah, to learn risk management and stuff like that, it's your own self. You have to teach it. You have to get emotions to check. Even that, you have to teach yourself about emotions. You can, listen to all the gurus and so-called professional traders and YouTube videos and so on and so on. No, it's you. Start with a live account, start with 300, 200, whatever it is. And I'll tell you, because what it is, it's their own money, right? So now they're like, oh man, right? And that's how you find out what kind of, trader you are. And, are you gonna, you find out about your emotion. And that's when you start to slowly, if you can, control it and perfect it. And, as you get bigger accounts and you know, more funds, then obviously it'll help you in the long run, right?
Yeah, I think this ties quite nicely into, my next sort of point to run in with you to discuss, is that I think with risk management as well, when you've got your $200, $300 account, you're risking 1% or 2% per trade. You're making very small amounts of profit, making very small losses. And once you master that and realize actually that you just need to scale up the capital, that when you've got a 100K, 200K, 500K account with a prop firm like Alpha Capital Group or any of the others in the space, then that 1%, 2% becomes quite a large amount. And so I think as well, my next point is, let's discuss why people should actually get funded with a prop firm. Why people should actually treat it seriously to get funded with a prop firm is because of the capital size. Have you got any points you'd like to jump on with that?
Yeah. Well, like you know, in the beginning I said, you know, I didn't, I didn't like prop firms, right, because of that. But it took me because I've been doing prop firm challenges now, and you know, been funded with multiple prop firms. And, currently, right now, I'm with another prop firm with a 400K funded account. Um, but it took me a while to realize because, like I said, in the beginning, I'm like, you know, why am I, you know, it's all my hard work. I got to split it, you know, da, da, da. But here's the thing that it took me a little while to realize,
Mm.
right? Is you're getting more capital. It's more capital just for you know a very like you know a weekly paycheck or a minimum, right? For example, like majority, you know, for 100K accounts on most of these prop firm, you're probably spending like 400 or 500, you know, 600, you know, US dollars, right? Um, Obviously you got to pass the, you know, the phases, right? And, you know, and get funded. But yeah, you know, looking back, I wish I had started earlier because like I said, you have more capital to work with, you know, you can grow, you know, grow your funds, grow your account do try to find, you know, do the prop firms, man. But find a prop firm. Trust me when I tell you, I tried many prop firms. I tried many. I started the first one I started was the Fivers. If everybody know what who the Fivers are, right? Got funded with them. You know, I'm telling you, there's many. I can name. You know, if it's okay, you know, with you.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I did. You know, Fivers. I did E8 funding. I did um MFF. I did Alpha, you know, Bespoke, uh,
Good stuff.
Forex Plus, the funded, what is it, the funded trader program, all
Trader.
that. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, I got funded, I think it was like 3, 4 of them. Um, but yeah, you know, give it a try. But here's the thing, just because, you know, it's a prop firm and they're giving you know, uh, 100, whatever, you know, you're willing to pay 100, you know, 200K, 300K, 400K, wherever it is, right? You still got to have, you still got to have a trading plan. You still got to have your setup. You still got to have, you know, your emotions in check. You still got to have, you know, a strategy. You got to have, you know, everything is still there. But the good thing with prop firm is you're getting more for the capital just for like a very, very minimal, you know, um, fee, I should say, right?
Um,
So, and like I said, yeah, you know, there's 100K accounts that mostly prop firm, like I said, is anywhere from 500, 600, and then most of them offer you, you know, discount promo codes, right? So it might be 15%, 10%, whatever it is. So it's really good. And is I do recommend, you know, like I said, I wish I knew, you know, about it earlier and sooner. I would have did it instead of having a mindset of, you know, split it. And listen, now the profit splits are good. You know, they're 80%, 85%, 90%. There's always promotion running. You know, they offer like promotion with like lifetime, you know, 100% lifetime,
Bigger
92% lifetime.
refunds, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, everything.
Yeah, you know, so now it's a platform is way better than it was when I started. Now there's you know, plenty. It's all over, you
Now there's
know.
probably, over 50 in the space. You can
Yeah.
use them to bounce off of each other,
Yeah,
to
but here's the thing. I would tell anyone that's considering, um, joining platform. You know, do your homework, right? Do your homework. Go and trust Pilot, right? But even with that, you have to you have to do it for yourself. If because listen, it might be Trustpilot might be listen, it could be paid, it could be just somebody's happy at the moment, right? But I tell them like, listen, just go for it. Try. If you fail or something happen, you gotta pay to learn. That's what Forex is. Even when you're funded or not funded, like you're paying to learn. It's always a learning. You're always paying to learn. But again, do your due diligence, right? And that's what I did. I did multiple. Some I like, some I didn't like, and it is what it is, right? But
and now you reap the
yeah,
reward. So in terms
yeah,
of like, if you were to give a trader that was joining today, okay, let's say they've got a bit of experience, they've got 1, 2 years experience, they're looking to join into prop firms, they perhaps failed a few accounts already. Okay, they've lost perhaps a little bit of confidence. If you were to give a trader in your position now 3 tips to take their trading to the next level, do and replicate what you've done, make a 25K profit withdrawal from a prop firm, you know, happy days. What would those 3 tips be?
Well, for sure, tip number one is just trust yourself, trust yourself, trust yourself, trust your setup, trust your style. Because there's many, I see many people, you know, and we spoke about this earlier. You know, they're trade and maybe they got a bad entry or news hit or something happened, and it go against them, and then now they start questioning themselves. It's like, man, why this happened, why that happened, right? But no, just trust yourself. That's one. um Two, I would say just stick with it, man. Stick with it. I've blown many accounts, on my journey, past, even funded accounts I've blown, you know, to be honest, a couple of, I got funded today, I blew the account today, right? So, because I'm aggressive at that, right? But, just stick with it. You're going to have up days, you're going to have down days, right? And here's the thing, when you're in a down, as a trader, we all go through this so-called losing streak, right? All you do is just take a break from the charts, from the computer, go away, go vacation, or just relax at home, whatever. It's just don't even think about it, right? Clear your mind, get that mentality back in check, right? Come back stronger, and move forward, right? And then I guess tip number three would probably be, um, man, I think the biggest thing is just sticking with it, man. Just don't give up, right? Like I tell people, the
And
day
perhaps
you,
enjoying the journey as well, enjoying the journey of getting funded.
yeah, you have to, right? So that's another thing too, right? Is when you get, I tell people, like, when you get your first, if it's your live account, fund account, whatever it is, right? Your first payout, everybody tend to either go pay bills or this, whatever it is, right? I thought that's fine, no problem. But take a little bit and splurge, spend it on yourself. Whether it's going, on a mini vacation, taking, family or your wife, kids, whatever, buying you yourself a jewelry, something. The reason why I recommend it, because you get a feeling of what it is to be successful, right? And you want this feeling more and more. And this is what drives you, give you the motivation. So you know what? Okay, I want to keep doing it. I want to keep doing it, right? So that's like, treat yourself, to your first payout, right? You don't have to be all of it, right? It's just, like I said, whatever makes you happy, right? But gives you that mental, motivation, and to show you, like, okay, this is possible. I can get this, right? And make you strive, further, right? But yeah, like those. I mean, those are the tips. I mean, I think the biggest tip is just to, like, just stick with it, right? Just stick with it. Don't give up, right? Like I said, if you, I tell people, if you quit, we all gonna have losing days. That's fine. But the day you decide to quit on this, that's the day you actually lose. That's the day you lose, right? So the biggest tip is just stick with it, man. Stick. Before I got a payout, like, only certain people know. Like, I was up, so that was actually 2 weeks, 2 weeks payout. Um, I was up within the first week. I was up like 12K. Um, one day I lost, I think, pretty much all of it plus more. Right? I was like, I think it was like a couple $100 away from blowing that account, and it was. But I know why I did it. It was because it was greed, right? I held it, right. It went against me. I'm like, okay, fine. I knew it was gonna come back down. It came back down, and that was the profits too. And I'm like, yeah, I want more, right? And yeah, overheld it, shot back up, had no choice, had to close it, took the loss, whatever. But this is the difference from, been doing it, so long versus newer traders, or even other traders. The difference is, I know why, I lost those trades. I know why I lost. So I'm like, okay, forget about it. And here's the thing, I tell people, when you have a loss, don't worry about it. In forex, you gotta have amnesia. You gotta forget about it. Because if you dwell on it, you'll come back tomorrow, you'll lose more. Then there you probably want a revenge trade. And then you end up losing from 1K, 2, 3, 4, right? So I know why I lost. I know it was greed. I knew, everything, like I said, it went against me, right? But I held it because I know, okay, I got in early. So, but like I said, it came back down. I should have closed it. I was in profit. I didn't. Greed stepped in, whatever. And that's the biggest, that's one of the biggest killer to it in trading. And like I said, I told myself, I'm like, okay, I understand why. The next day I made back, I think, yeah, like was it 12, 13K loss. The next day I made back half of that. And then from then on, just kept on going again. And
Yeah.
that's how I ended up, just kept on going and going and going, and that's the thing. You have to realize why you lost it, right? Even when trading, right? I don't think we talk about it. As a newer trader, have a journal. Like I started off, this is how I started off journaling.
Yeah.
Look, if
I
you can
love it.
see.
Yeah, just writing notes.
Yeah, right. You can't see it in the background, right?
Can't see because of the background, but as in,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
I started off,
writing
even
notes, of
though,
winning
yeah,
trades, losing trades,
yeah,
and
even though we
stuff.
have, phone and computer and whatever, right? I I handwritten every single thing down from what I saw. Obviously, the day, the time will appear. What I saw at the time, what was the setup I saw, how much lots I went in for, and then if I won a trade, did I lose a trade? Why did I win a trade? Why did I lose the trade? Right? And that's the thing. I don't think, especially now, I don't think a lot of newer traders, do that anymore, right? And I tell them you should, you like, because you understand, like, for example, like why I lost that trade, right? I know because it was greed, right? I know, I got it early, right? And that's the difference. A newer trader who doesn't journal, or even so-called beginners that don't journal and they lose a trade, they're like, well, why, why did I lose it? Why this? I
Mm.
knew, right? But because of this, I've been doing it. Um, and to be honest, I don't do it. I haven't been doing it now, but because everything's mental, I understand now, right? Because I guess it comes with experience, right? But everything is mental. Now I know, okay, why I lost a trade, why I won a trade, and so forth, right? But that's a good thing. I do recommend, beginner, newer, whoever is starting off, you know, have a journal, keep a journal. Now you don't have to do this, right? Now every prop firm, they have it on their dashboard where you can, just screenshot, just type something. Okay, I saw this, blah blah, buy, sell, whatever it is. Okay, did it hit my take profit? Stop loss, um, whatever it is. Why did you win? Why did you lose? So that way you understand, right? But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and I think overall, like long term, it's actually quite rewarding as well. I've got my trade journal, and I've also got my own like business journal in terms of the goals that I want to do, business wise and monetary goals. And it's almost like that sort of, self, transcendence and the manifestation of what you want to achieve in the future, and essentially tracking back and looking back at those goals that you set a while back and the things you did each day and the trades you took. You can then look back and go, actually, that $300, $500 account, for me, it was a £500 account that I started off with. I blew it straight away. I'm now looking back and I'm like, we're making that profit in, half a trade, one trade, or, even less than that. And so it's really nice to look back upon that and almost see the journey.
you hear traders, majority, they'll say, or even, the gurus, they'll teach, traders or professionals, they'll treat them, oh, do a one-to-one versus what, or 1-to-2, whatever it is, right? Or you'll hear guys say, oh, 20 pips, this, or, whatever it is, I don't do one-to-one. I don't chase 20 pips. I have a goal, a daily goal. And like I said, this is my business. I treat it as a business, right? So my business has to pay me. And every day, so right now I'm on a 400K account. Even when I was on, the 200K account with Alpha, my daily goal was, and I actually started this with my 300, live account, and this is how it grew and grew. So when I started with 300, my daily goal was to make $100 to, well, $100 plus per day, right? Because again, I treat this as a business, right? So as I got better, it went, increased from $100 a day. I got better and better. It went to 150 plus, so far and so on. So now, fast forward again, I'm on a 400, 200 account. My daily goal is to make $1,000 plus per day, right? Why, some people say, well, why do you do it? It's good because again, this is a business, right? If you can check, let's say you make $1,000 a day. That's $5,000 for the week. I trade every day. I trade 5 days a week. You don't have to, right? But just look at it. Say trade 3 days for the week. $3,000 a week, man. That's compared that to a job. That's not, even city job doesn't pay that kind of money, right?
Exactly.
Even, right. So that's why I look at it. I'm like, this is a business. I have to treat it as a business. This is what's going to pay me, right? Give me the lifestyle I want. And I don't chase, like I said, I don't chase pips, because I tell people, like, okay, you're chasing 10, 15, 20 pips, whatever it is, right? If it comes to 9 pips or, 14 pips or 19, 18 pips, you're not going to close the trade. You're probably up really good. Why wait for that 1, 2 pips when it can reverse right there,
Yeah.
right? So I don't chase pips. I don't do, everybody's like, oh, do 1-to-1 risk 1%. No, I'm aggressive. I have my daily goal. I can make that in 5 minutes. It might take me an hour. It could take me 2, 3, 4 hours, but that's
Once
just
you've
my,
made that money, you take it and you go and you move it as a
yeah.
business.
Yeah. And like I said, just, it's very simple. Just do the math, right? Even $500 for the day times 5, that's $2,500 for the week. Well, now I'm a full-time trader, plus, investor. But with my 9 to 5 job, I was making I was making what, $900 a week,
Mhm.
right? And that's why when I started, I kind of compared it to, my job. Okay, so that's roughly like about 120, 140 per day. So
Mm.
when my 300 count, I'm like, okay, you know what? I want to make 100 plus per day. And like I said, that's why I treat it like that way. I have my goals. So that's my daily goals, like just to digress, like you said about goals.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
like it. So in terms of like
yeah,
your goals and your plans for here, from this point of making, trying to aim for that 1K per day, what's the next level? What's the next level? What's the next set? What's the next set of aspirations and goals?
yeah. Well, I have I tell you what, I have an ultimate, like, I guess you could say an ultimate goal.
Yeah,
Uh,
the big one.
yeah, yeah, and it's not, it might not, people might not think what it is, after I tell them, then they'll know. But my ultimate goal is to, teach my 2 daughters, they're young now, they're like 8 and 9, is to teach them, about this, teach them about trading, and
Love
show
that.
them, you know, there's other means of making, income, right? You don't have to, even my brother, he's what, 21, he's in college right now. And, I tell him, like, you don't have to go to college. Like, people go to college, especially over here, they go to college to waste so much money, come out with a,
Big debt.
loan.
Yeah.
Yeah, big debt, right? And majority, to be honest, majority of the people that go to college here is just to get a degree to hang on the wall and probably not use it, right? And like I said, my ultimate goal is to teach them this. As I get, I told them, like, they're 8 and 9. I'm like, listen, I give you guys, like, 3 or 4 more years, and then that's it. I want to start teaching you. You have to learn this, and I not just them, is to I try to help as much people as I can. And I love helping people, right? And I like to show them, like, this is possible, man. Like, you don't need, bust here behind a 9 to 5, or be working for somebody, and and it's to show them there's other means, there's more, opportunities, more, possibilities in especially, trading, right, forex. And like I said, man, that's my ultimate goal. But
Love
yeah, if
that.
you're moving forward, like now, like I said, I just, started with a new firm. I'm funded with a 400K account. My first payout is going to be May 11th. But yeah, man, it's been an up and down journey.
Hmm.
Um, and I think moving forward, probably maybe get another 400K account, maybe merge it.
Yeah, just keep stacking it. Keep stacking it. Look, I'm really excited to see what you end up doing, because before I know it, you're gonna have millions and millions and millions stacked across all of these different prop firms. And fingers crossed, let's do another, interview, in perhaps, 6 months' time or something like that, to see how you've progressed and how things have gone. But because that by that point, I'm sure I'll see you on the top payouts of, all of these different prop firms. So I'm very excited for
Yeah,
it.
I mean, yeah, for sure. But here's the thing too. Like, I don't, even when I got that payout from Alpha, right? I had guys in the Discord was asking me, they're like, "Hey, man, are you gonna go for 35, you're gonna go for 40. I'm like, listen, honestly, that's not me. I don't look for that. You know, I don't want to be, a one-hit wonder, right? I rather take, 4 or 5 thousand every week
Yeah.
and be that guy. But yeah, I mean, again, I trust my style, trust my setup, trust it, but it's to show you like the joy and happiness. I mean, hopefully you guys can see it on my face when I talk about it.
I can.
And I try to encourage so much people to get into this, man. Like I'm trying to get like all my family members, friends, neighbors, like just to show them because it's just show them like it's not about getting rich. It's not become millionaire. No, it's never like that. It's to show them like there's other means of to making an income,
Yeah.
right? And you don't have to trade like me. I trade, like I said, I trade 5 days a week. You don't have to, right? You can do 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, or 3 days for the week, right? Again, treat it as a business, right? Okay, for example, if weekly pay, say you're working at a weekly job, say your pay is $900 for the week or 1,000 for the week, right? So try to make $1,000, in 3 or 4 days, right? And or divide it, right? Divide 1,000 by 4 or 3 days, right? And it can be done, man. It can be done. Like I said, it can, for me especially, it could take me 5 minutes, it could take me 10 minutes, an hour, two, three, four, and there's times I will hold it. I will hold it, 4 hours, 5 hours, because again, maybe I got on a bad entry, maybe news hit, I was expected. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, it can be done, man. It can be done. And when I said when you get to
Start
that
on the
point
page.
where I'm at, you'll be like this, right? You'll be
Yeah.
happy.
Awesome, bro. Well, look, I will cut the video there because we've taken, over an hour, and I look forward to everyone watching this video and reaping all of your advice and all of your journey and all of your information that you've got. So very, very exciting, and we'll leave it there.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and I do hope everybody, learns something from it. And yeah, push forward, man. Just keep going forward. Don't give
Awesome,
up.
awesome. Let me stop the recording there. Perfect.